Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Maureen.
I'm Eve.
And I'm Amanda.
And we are back with another recap of The Way Home. Okay, so as we remind you, and as we've been telling you, our seasons are going to look very, very different because we're trying to cover all the premieres after the writer's strike, mid-season premieres, because some shows have come back already in January, some are not coming back until February. Speaking of which, Fire Country will be back this week. It's going to come out Friday, February 16th. That is coming up this week. In March, we've got Grey's Anatomy coming out. We are supposedly getting a Sullivan's Crossing. All the details I could find just said March of 2024 with a big question mark, so I don't really know. 911, OG 911 is coming back in March. Lone Star is not coming back until September. The Bear is hopefully coming in June 2024. I cannot wait for that one. And Will Trent is also coming back in March. So we will have all those premieres for you approximately a week after they come out. But we are not covering every episode. We are just doing that. And then we are going to go into mid-season episodes, mid-season finales, and the finale of the series of the season. So that's all you're getting from us. We're going to fit some stuff in between there. We've got Sullivan's Crossing that is coming out soon. I think we've got to do that full recap from the first season soon. So a lot of stuff is still coming your way that does not have to do with these shows. Bear with us as we kind of figure that out and find our footing there. But today we are diving into The Way Home. Now, the way we're going to be doing these Way Home recaps, we're doing 2 at a time because we know this episode comes out on a Sunday, which is when our episodes come out.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult to record these episodes. We want to make sure to get them to you. So we are bringing you episodes 2 and 3. If you have not watched episodes 2 and 3, here's your warning right now. We are giving you spoilers from episodes 2 and 3. Also 1, because if you haven't watched 2 and 3, then, or you have watched 2 and 3, you should probably have watched 1 already. If you have not done it in that order, please go do that. Because you are probably very confused at this point.
Make sure you've watched all the episodes before you listen.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you gotta do.
But don't forget about 1.
Yes, you make sure you do that. So let's get into episodes 2 and 3. We're gonna do a quick recap and get into our theories because we know that what our favorite thing about the show, like with Cruel Summer, is the mystery. It's the puzzle. It's figuring out what is going on, although none of us have a freaking clue what is happening. I was thinking about this. Now with time travel, I want to ask this question before I forget it. If, let's say, Elliot has a memory, right? In this episode, he has the memory of the pact that he and Alice have, but he never mentions it before. So when she goes back, does his memory automatically change then? Because she hasn't gone back yet? Or, like, how does that work?
No, I have said on this podcast before, time travel really confuses me.
You wouldn't think it would be this much of a detailed topic, right? It's just time travel.
I don't understand it.
I guess maybe it would. I don't know. That's the best I have.
Well, to me, like if you change the past, the future would change.
Yes, but what if you haven't changed the past yet? When do you have those memories?
Do you think that's why like Elliot's so moody is because his brain is just constantly going like poof, 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 like changing?
Oh, I have sympathy for him now.
Like I think I would get a little irritated.
Now I feel bad for Elliot. Why did you have to do that?
He's like, every time you guys go back, I get messed up.
That's really why he left. It all makes sense now. He's not a moody hormonal teenage girl. He's just confused. Okay, that makes sense. I'll take that. So in these episodes, there's a lot of stuff that happened, but we are only going to cover the big points. So we know we are leaving out information, but we aren't here to give you the rundown of the show. You want to know what happens in the show? Go watch the show. We are here to break down the big things and analyze it and see what we can come out with.
And chat.
Yes, and chat, because that's what Fandom Family Chats is. So Alice cancels her trip to Minnesota for the summer because mom is on a work trip.
Who saw that coming?
I mean, I don't even know why they had that in the story.
That was so pointless to me. I was thinking about that while I was watching. I was like, why was that a thing? Like, why was it a whole storyline of like internships and like was that just to make it more real?
I
Because
guess, but we all knew that she wasn't going to go
Yeah.
anywhere because that would be a boring scene.
pointless.
She's the main character. She's the OG
She has
time
to be
traveler.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She has to be around.
What were we gonna do? Spend a whole season watching her do this random internship far away from the pond where she can time travel?
And watch
Maybe she'd
Dell
start
one
going through the archives and finding things.
archives in Minnesota.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mhm.
this feels very Canadian where they're at in Port Haven. Are they in Canada? Or is Port Haven just supposed to be like a Connecticut, Massachusetts?
No, I think they might be in Canada.
I think it is Canada.
Okay.
It's in Canada.
Okay, so that makes sense. I don't know why I was asking that question. There was a reason, but I don't remember why that was important to me.
Join me.
But I think because all Dell would have been doing was wondering where Kat is at every moment and not having anyone confirm it. There was no way. So that has to come back at some point. It's not. I don't think this show is intricate. I don't think the writing is that lazy to bring up the storyline without a purpose or a reason. And the fact that they opened with Brady in the storyline, episode 2 had Brady in the storyline, he's got to come back to town, right? I think maybe the reason for it was Kat can't go to him, so he's going to come to her. Yes,
Or
no?
maybe Kat disappears for an extended period of time.
Oh, I meant Alice. Alice can't go to him, so he comes to Alice. That's what I meant. I get their names mixed up all the time.
I don't know. I mean, he has a job.
Yeah, but he's kind of far up in that place, isn't he? He came before and just hung out at Dell's house and made out with Kat.
How many times can he do that?
I think Brady makes his own mind. He does whatever he wants to do because he's Brady, whatever his last name is. No. But anyway, so she cancels her work trip with him. And I think also we have Dell saying summer is magical in Port Haven. It's a rite of passage to work at this coffee shop.
Is it really a rite of passage to work at a coffee shop?
Apparently everybody has worked at this coffee shop. How old is this place? Because it seemed fairly new to me.
It opened up in 1791.
Did it really?
No, I have no idea.
That was very convincing.
Super convincing.
They've made a lot of modern updates over the years, Maureen. Come on, give them some credit.
They have plumbing. It's amazing.
They've electricity now. They just got it the other day.
The other day.
The other day.
So Elliot and Kat also fight, which is big shocker there because he's a big moody teenager. But he is stupid and he is mean during that fight. And he says awful things about Kat's dad and her role in it. Just awful.
That was who does that? That was
that. Yeah. I was like going into this, like somebody watched it before me and they're like, I hate the way Jeanette watched it before. She's like, I hate the way that Elliot's acting. And I'm like, I'll probably understand what. I was so mad at him throughout. I was like, what is your freaking problem? Now, I think there's a reason that we just don't know. I think there has to be a reason why he's acting like such a jerk right now. Like maybe it'll all make sense.
It ties to his dad.
Yes. I definitely do think that. Because they wouldn't keep bringing up his dad over and over again and him going to Mexico to visit his dad. And there's like been several points where they even just mentioned his name. There's something his dad's involved somehow, some way in the story somewhere.
I was telling Eve before we started that I don't know why, but the way Elliot is acting, the way that he is about certain things, it reminded me of the movie Tuck Everlasting, where that family was working so hard to protect the secret of the everlasting life that they had. And it not that he has everlasting life, because obviously Elliot has grown, but there's something weird about his relationship with his dad beyond just that he's an absentee father.
Yeah.
There is something that Elliot knows. I'm not sure what in relation to, but there's something he knows that he is not either willing to share or can't share yet. I really gotta know what it is, because until we figure out what it is, he's just gonna keep coming off like a jerk every single episode.
Absolutely. And we see it, he focuses on him so hard in episode 3 with the Be Back Friday, and Elliot's all sad and moody, and then his older self is sad and moody, and then he tells, what does he say to Alice? That I wish you wouldn't go back because you can never unsee or undo who we've become, or something like that. He's just very ominous.
It was really cryptic. It was you can't go back because those people don't exist anymore, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's real. I mean, obviously, they're not the same people anymore. That's how life works. But the way he said it, it was just very ominous. I'm like,
Yes.
what are you hiding? It's like, there's stuff that he knows, but he doesn't know when he can share it until they experience it, because he's like, I don't know if they've been to that point in time yet when I did this, or when this thing happened that I was a part of. So maybe that's why he's just being so cryptic and secretive all the time.
This is why I opened with that question of when does he have the memory? Because in season 1, Elliot doesn't act like he's going to get this depressed at all. He doesn't give any indication to Alice or Kat. He's not cruel about their time travel in season 1 in the beginning of, but and all we're seeing in season 2 so far, he's cruel about it, and he's this depressed guy, and he apparently used to be depressed, but there's no indication of that. However, if Kat or Alice keeps going back, she hasn't gone back to see what he's saying right now, so he wouldn't have that memory yet because she hasn't gone back yet. But this is why time travel shows are hard to figure out, because there's so many different ways this could go.
But because it was in the past, he's already experienced it.
But she hasn't changed the past yet.
So, see, that's why it goes around in circles.
Exactly. So if you want to create a mystery show where people don't figure out the ending and it's always a big mind-blowing surprise, time travel is the way to do that.
Can somebody email us and describe time travel?
Someone who has a much higher degree than I have and something that's not in English, I would like you to write to us and explain the quantum physics of time travel, because I assume quantum physics is in that somewhere.
And please dumb it down for us, because science is not my thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Talk to me like I'm 5. All right. How would you explain this to a 5-year-old?
4.
That's how I would like it explained. Oh, maybe.
I'm going with 2. Talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old. Like, make it real simple. Use
shapes and colors only.
Very relatable.
Speaking of that, Kat does go back to 1814. The pond does take her back there where she got shot. We saw that at the end of episode 1, she got shot. But this is so weird. What is happening here? The guy whose name we never get the guy's name who shot her, do we? I mean, I think
they say it,
but I don't remember what it is.
They mention his name. I don't remember what it is.
It starts with a T, I think.
So Sarah Augustine, who kind of seems like a witch to me in more ways than one.
Yes.
She and this dude who shot her are hiding her in this basement of a store, but they're healing her.
Well, she's healing her.
But the guy also told her to.
Did he, though?
Yeah, because she said, I'm healing her for you. And he just said, keep her locked up. So I don't...
Okay, yeah.
What are you two doing? And why? Why is this happening? That's never explained.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be yet.
I think they know more than Sarah is sharing right now, because she seems really suspicious of Kat. When Kat goes back in episode 3, she's like real suspicious of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why are you wearing the clothes you're wearing?
Your story keeps changing. And I'm like, it sounds like she's trying to catch Kat in a gotcha.
Yeah.
Because she knows something and she wants to figure out what Kat knows.
That could be.
I mean, I'm really excited for this next episode because she just showed Sarah that she just jumps into the pond and is not going to come out.
I was really hoping we were just going to see her body float back up and she'd be like, hang on, let me try that again.
Take 2.
Sorry, this usually works. So maybe I didn't like flop right.
Mine didn't appreciate my joking commentary when we were watching it. And she also, like, the way she is about things, when she found out that she was there and she was looking for Jacob, she was almost like angry. So what is she trying to pull over on Jacob? Is she in the line? Ooh, I just had a thought.
I just thought she like really loved Jacob and she's just protective over him.
I didn't feel that. I thought she
No?
just seemed mean.
No, I didn't get that at all. She is up to something. I
Oh,
think
man.
I think she she knows something about the pond. She knows something, and she's using Jacob for I don't know what yet, but that's my working theory. Is she's using Jacob
Maybe
for something.
sorry. Maybe like obviously we all I think agree that she's probably like a witch or
Yes.
something.
Shady.
Do you think like she made the pond magical?
I don't think so. What I do think, because I think the Augustines were one of the settling families. The Goodwins were one of the settling families. And the Landrys are one of the settling families, right? Those were the three.
Yeah.
Or the Goodwin and Landry were the two, for sure. I'm just assuming Augustine, because that's her last name, right? Sarah Augustine.
Yeah, and I mean I've heard the name a few times now.
So I think, because it seemed to me like she was trying to use Jacob and Kat was going to dismantle all of that. I think she recognizes that Kat has a tie to Jacob that is dangerous to what her plan is what it felt to me. What if, because we have Evelyn Goodwin, who became a shut-in and watched from her window the binoculars, but didn't approach anybody. And now we have Casey Goodwin, who comes in to help Kat as an internship at the paper, going through all of Evelyn's old things. What if it's that line and they're all like witches of some sort, but it has to do with the founding families? And what if Sarah is mad at the Landrys for taking land that she thought was their sacred ground or was their families or something? So she's using Jacob to get to them somehow. I don't know.
What if Casey?
Mm-hmm. Casey looks an awful lot like Sarah Augustine.
I'm thinking, I think Casey is Sarah and Jacob's daughter.
Ooh,
interesting.
And I think that she's a time traveler too. And
I did think that for sure. And if only Landry's time travel,
she's a Landry, technically.
But what is her tie to is she just saying she's a Goodwin so she can? How would she know to use the Goodwin name?
If they're one of the settling families, then she was raised around them, right?
But why would she use that name to Kat? Why would she go?
Probably knew she wouldn't, but she can't like use Augustine or Landry. I think that would be too suspicious.
That's true.
But at least if she used a Goodwin name, and that has some like, I mean, but we also don't know what Evelyn was. There's something with Evelyn, obviously. I don't know if that was really Sarah or I don't know. I'm so confused. Was Evelyn Sarah and she was like an old witch?
What if Evelyn was Sarah? Oh,
but did nobody ever see her?
I gotta say this before I forget it. What if Kat does bring Jacob back? She brings Jacob back when he's older, and Evelyn or Sarah goes to search for Jacob, but she ends up stuck before he gets there. So she has to hide herself away when she realizes who Kat is, and she watches with binoculars for Jacob. But she gets stuck before he leaves, and Alice is their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a reason she hid herself away. Casey, I think, could be Sarah's daughter. Yeah. But what if Kat takes Jacob back and Sarah goes to find them, but she ends up stuck before the time and she can't get back in because the pond won't let her?
That could be.
Because she's a bad witch.
That's a theory.
I think I like that one for this week. I think that's my theory for this week.
I like it.
I like it.
I do too. I think it'd be an interesting story.
And there's also something too when Kat escapes from her little dungeon. Mm-hmm. The head of Port Haven, he was a Goodwin, I believe. He threatens her when she escapes. Why would you threaten someone who appears to be wounded and a visitor in your town? Why would you threaten them? Why would that be your first
suspicious of them? Don't know who they are, where they come from.
But she's bleeding from her arm in a night dress, clearly afraid. Why would you not say, hey, are you okay? What's going on?
He's clearly a bad dude, so I mean,
exactly. There's something to that. And maybe Sarah, I'm getting really excited. Maybe Sarah Augustine is not actually Sarah Augustine, but she's a Sarah Goodwin. But she's faking her name because she's using Jacob to get something that her family needs. Because I don't think she could be with Jacob and also hide people in a dungeon. That's what I think.
I think anything is possible.
I'm going with that. Okay, it's working for me tonight. Kat also tells her why she's there when she disappears, and that's the other thing is that here's the other reason I think this could be a good theory, because she tells her, I'm looking for Jacob Landry, and she tells her it's a boy, and she says the boy is with his family. But then you're confused when she's looking for a man. If you're engaged to Jacob Landry, you know he's not a boy.
Well, no, there was the boy Jacob, William's son. He named his son after Jacob. So that little boy's name is Jacob. It was just the wrong Jacob.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess Jacob's adoptive brother.
I did not catch that.
After him. So that little boy there was a little boy named Jacob. So that's the confusion there.
Well, I want Sarah Augustine to be a villain, so this makes it harder.
I don't know. I don't know if she will be. I think she might be. Like, that's where I
don't know. I really want her to be, because I don't like her.
No, she's mean.
No, I want to like her.
What if we end up liking her? Oh God, I'm going to hate that.
I mean, if I end up liking her, that'll be a surprise. So good job, writers. But right now, she seems up to something no good. She also, she holds Kat at knife point and is like, who are you? Before Kat fake dives into the pond.
Yeah, she's a bad bee.
She sure is. And there has to be something with that lighthouse, right? Because Jacob built it, he drew it, and then this whole episode 3 keeps coming back to the lighthouse, and that's where I did feel bad for Elliot here when Kat put her hand on his shoulder and she says, how mean of her to phrase it like this, but she says, I'll do anything to make this work. Friends?
I cringed.
Yes. So I actually felt bad for Elliot for the first time in like 4 episodes, even though there's only been 3.
That's what he gets.
He was like, oh, we're going to make this work? Oh, we're not going to make this work. Okay.
Like, never mind.
He was so mean.
Just got friend zoned.
Why would you phrase it like that? Anything to make this work, when the last time we were actually doing anything together, we were kissing and dating and whatever. Anything to make this work. Let's go back to the way we were as children.
Okay. Because that works for everybody.
Yes.
Especially me.
And again, episode 3, just like episode 1, just like episode 2, we're hearing again, you are family. Are they going to make this gross and weird?
No.
Are you sure they're not going to make it?
We're not watching Game of Thrones. Okay.
Are you sure? It's time
Hallmark.
travel, Amanda.
It's Hallmark, not HBO.
Well, maybe they feel like they want to get edgier.
I mean, I guess maybe if we're watching like Hallmark mysteries.
This is Hallmark mystery.
Everything is very mysterious. Come on.
And then it's always like PG, and incest I don't feel like is PG.
Well, that's true. Is it incest if it's like a 14th cousin? I don't understand time very well.
No, I think after the third cousins, it's just free. No big deal.
Please, listeners, do not take our advice on this. Do not listen to us. Also, when Elliot was having those flashbacks of the summer, when was that? Because Colton was still alive. Jacob was still alive. It's a summer, obviously. He's fallen asleep in the hay barn. So what time period was that?
No, I was confused at first. I was thinking
he time traveled?
No, like some kind of, not a hallucination. What's the word? Like a daydream or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But then it kept going on, and I was like, oh, I guess this actually happened. And then, like you just said, Maureen, I was like, but when did this happen? Why are they showing it? Well, I get kind of the why, but I don't understand when it happened.
And it seems like a weird thing to show, though.
I mean,
obviously they showed it for a reason.
I get that they showed it because it was, I don't know, that they had to get back to that time to point out like the lighthouse or something, but I don't get why that.
Yeah. Because I mean the whole show is about the way home, right? It's about returning home. So the fact that his dad never comes home, I think, is one thing. But also, it's a lot of the show is about returning Jacob to his home, finding out what their roots are in their home. So there has to be something tied to that for Elliot and his dad, but as it pertains to the Landry family, there has to be a tie in there. Because the show is about the Landrys. So if they're going to break off into a whole nother drama about him and his dad without tying it to the loss of Jacob or the time traveling or the Landrys, it's not going to make sense.
Do you think maybe Elliot is an ancestor of Sarah?
Ooh.
They have the same last name.
So they wouldn't be related by blood, just by marriage. Wait, they have the same last name. What's Elliot's last name?
Augustine.
Shut up. Is it really?
Yeah.
Why did I not catch that?
I did not know this.
Oh, it is. Look at me go. I'm
so
good.
He is a relative of Sarah.
That's why when I was watching, I was like, wait, I was like, wait, Augustine? What? So that I went to IMDb. I was like, that's why it's familiar. It's Elliot.
How is Kat not more obsessed about this? She knows what Elliot's last name is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm confused about. When she was introduced to her as Sarah Augustine, it's like, why didn't she?
I think actually she did kind of like Augustine. Didn't she? Didn't she kind of question Augustine? Is that why? Did I not even connect to that?
I don't remember
we didn't think that because you and I were unaware that his last name was Augustine. Eve, where were you on our last episode? We needed you.
This is why we need a compound. Just watch together.
Night. What if Casey Goodwin is Kat and Elliot's daughter from the future? What if Kat and Elliot get together and have another kid and this is her?
That could be it too.
I don't really like that theory though.
We haven't played with future yet. We haven't done anything from the future.
No. There's like a lot of, because my mind is working now, and now I'm like trying to figure things out.
It's all about time travel. So any theory sounds to me like it could work.
You listeners will not hear the intense and frequent amounts of silence that's on this episode because I'm going to cut all the silence out. But there's a lot of moments where we just stop and stare at things without saying a word as we're thinking about what could be happening. That's why this seems a little chaotic to you as you're listening to this, because you're not hearing the gaps of silence.
I promise we are stopping to think and let the wheels turn in our head before we react. It's just not sounding like that.
This is the best way to figure things out in a TV show like this, is to talk to people.
Exactly. And we do know that Jacob Landry was taken in by their great granddad in 1814.
Isn't that nice that he went with family?
It was. And I also it never once occurred to me that she was looking for a man, but it probably should have, since it's been 20. I mean, Kat has aged. It's not like Jacob is frozen in time somewhere. I don't know why that never even occurred to me that she'd be looking for anything other than a boy.
Well, it didn't occur to me that she would have been sent back to a time where he was a grown man. I would have assumed the pond would take her back to
when he was first taken.
But apparently the pond decided that there's some big reason why Kat needs to be there at that moment of time, even when Jacob is, delivering ships for the war.
So he's 24 in 1814. So he's born in like 1790.
No, it's been 24 years. He was how old when he was lost?
Like 8 or 9.
Okay,
he's in his 30s.
30.
Don't make me do that math.
Been 24 years.
I don't do that.
33.
Yeah.
So he'd be in his 30s.
He'd be in his 33,
early-ish 30s. Because I don't know how old he technically was when he was taken. So around early 30s, which is pretty much ancient. back then.
Why did he wait? Maybe he waited so long to get married though because he was a child from modern day. It was back in 1840. I was like, why did he wait so long? But that makes sense because he's not from that time period.
Should have just married him off at like 12.
And the new guy who appears, very suspicious, he acts very weird. So
Who?
you don't remember that guy? Dell's new neighbor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, he's sussy.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that he appears and Casey Goodwin appears.
Oh.
I think all these people are tied because they all look similar. I mean,
Casey tied together.
Casey has the jet black hair, the really pale skin, which is what Sarah Augustine had. This guy he kind of reminded me of the head of the town, which was a Goodwin.
I mean, one, he wouldn't be in the show if he didn't have some kind of point.
Yes.
Two, he is very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the whole money thing, I cannot figure out if Dell is telling the truth. She's okay with money or not. Because I keep going back. I'm like, I am so like, what's the point of like the whole land thing if it doesn't have anything to do with financial?
I feel like our brains are just programmed at this point to be suspicious of absolutely
everything. This is the whole green ring thing again. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that horse means something. That horse is. Oh,
I think Colton sent her the horse because she always wanted a horse.
Or maybe he came back as the horse, Amanda. Colton is the horse. The horse is Colton.
So she can ride him?
Oh my God. Oh boy.
Best podcast ever.
Why? Why did I not see that coming out of your mouth?
It's a legitimate
Where's the time? I need a time traveler. Who could have told me that was going to come out of your mouth? I should have known. Instead of the I need an adult, it's going to be I need a time traveler.
That's what she said.
Anyway, I think it's interesting that was our theory last week was Colton is the horse, and this new neighbor is like, this is awkward because you stole my horse. What did you do to Colton, old guy?
Oh, he killed Colton and put him in a horse?
Or he's a witch and made Colton into the horse.
It's a legitimate question.
Walk me through the theory of how he killed him and then put him in the horse. How does that work? Did he cut open the horse and put Colton's body in there? Or did he raise him from the dead and throw his spirit into the horse? How did that work?
Spirit, definitely spirit. I was thinking more Trojan horse, but that wouldn't really work because it's a live horse. I don't know, guys. It's late. Okay, I go to bed by now.
I'm so confused. I think it's past my bedtime.
You can hide things in the horse and bring them in. Get it? Okay.
So what, is Colton gonna pop up the horse's mouth or his butt and be like, hello?
I think they actually came out the belly. In the movie, right?
Oh, this is the best podcast ever.
Oh man, another Amanda night. This is why we quit doing night recordings.
This is why we need to go back to night recordings. I think there's something to the horse, the new neighbor. There is something to Dell's money connected to the land. Because the land is particular and special. There's something to Casey Goodwin, who I think I already said my theory. My theory there is that she is a descendant of Sarah Augustine, and maybe Sarah Augustine is actually Evelyn Goodwin. And so that's where it ties in. She's the daughter of Jacob, and they both time traveled. And that's my theory there. But there is also something to Elliot and his dad that has to tie to the Landrys. And now we know that there's a connection between Elliot Augustine and Sarah Augustine. So her last name can't be Goodwin. It's got to be Augustine.
Do we know that only the Landrys can time travel? Or is it maybe all the founding families?
That's what we were hypothesizing about last episode, that it could be founding families.
I think it's founding families. That way Elliot could, all the Augustines could. So that means Casey could, if she's a good one. And everybody.
But if Casey's a descendant of Sarah, if she's the daughter of Sarah and Jacob, then she could.
Then either way, she could.
But she says her name is Casey Goodwin. We don't know what that is. We don't know. Maybe she
We
knows
don't-
somewhere along the line that her mom. Well, no, Goodwin was one of the founding families.
Yeah.
But we don't know if she actually is Casey Goodwin. What if she's just
It's
lying?
true. What if she's actually a younger Sarah Augustine who traveled, and that's why she's suspicious of Kat because she.
But they don't change their appearances when they time travel.
Yes, I know, but maybe a younger version did.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Wouldn't that be a culture shock?
Unless
And
she
she
did
wouldn't
what
be so-
Jacob did and went from the pond to back then. I don't know. That one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I'm not following that one, to be honest.
It's hard for me to get the
wrap
words
my
out because
brain. I'm trying.
Okay, so do you guys have any theories that you think? What do you guys think? Okay, I'm gonna ask rapid fire here. Ready? Doesn't have to be rapid fire answers, but what do you think of Casey Goodwin?
Sussy.
Don't trust her.
Do you have a theory on who she is or where she came from?
I didn't know.
I just don't trust her. That's all I've got.
Okay, all right.
I do not trust her, and I think that she is Sarah, either Sarah's daughter, Sarah and Jacob's daughter, or she's Kat and Elliot's daughter.
Okay,
But I'm thinking more Sarah and Jacob.
okay. I wonder. I've got another theory. I'm sorry. It's the last one I'll throw out here. I wonder if the reason Vic is gone so much because they're Augustine, so he's a descendant of Sarah Augustine. What if Kat does something bad to Sarah Augustine and jacks up their line when she's time traveling? Because I mean, she's being threatened at knife point by this woman. She's being kept in a basement by this woman. She's being shot at by someone this woman is in leagues with. So maybe Kat just gets mad and goes Hulk on her and hurts her or something. And then Vic is unloading all this stuff when he's searching in Mexico for documents. Maybe he tells Elliot all about it. So Elliot comes back like, I know you killed my family. I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Maybe Jacob
Maybe that's
has
why he's
actually
so-
told all this to Sarah.
Maybe.
If they're actually in a real relationship and they're in real love, maybe he's talked about Kat. And then Sarah's kind of freaked out, maybe, because she's like, okay, I don't know. Gosh, there's so much.
It's the way she looked at Kat when she said that she was Jacob's sister, the way she kind of sat up straight and then she kind of looked at her angrily. And then she said, no, you're going to come with me. We need some alone time. So it was that made me think, ooh, she's not in it for good reasons.
Yeah.
But it would explain why Elliot has such a problem with her time traveling.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to stop a course of action that's going to happen soon that's going to derail his family. Maybe that's the reason his dad goes missing.
His dad's not in Mexico.
Maybe his dad was killed by Kat in the past.
Ooh. Well, then why would Elliot be like macking on her? She like killed his poppy.
Time travel works differently. He didn't know until she did it.
So Kat's a murderer?
Maybe accidentally. Maybe his dad's a bad guy. Maybe Jacob was saving Sarah Augustine and Vic came through and he's like, I'll kill you all. And then they had to kill him to save themselves. I don't know.
Okay, no more gangbang podcast. Or maybe we do need to bring these back.
I haven't giggled this much in a podcast in a long time.
I know, I haven't either.
So what do you think of, at first I thought the new neighbor might be Vic, but then I was like, nah, Gail would probably recognize him.
Yeah, I think so.
So it can't be Vic. What do you guys think of the new neighbor? Something's up there, right? It's not just me. Something's weird.
No, something is
up with
definitely
that-
going on.
Yeah, there's something up with that guy.
I was not comfortable with him like driving up in his truck, like talking to Alice. That was creepo one-on-one.
I mean, he's talking to Dell that way. Alice was just next to Dell.
Are you not talking about when he came to the house and talked to Alice whenever?
No, when he stopped on the road in his truck, it was Dell and Alice sitting there.
Gosh, I'm thinking about the other
He was
guy.
hitting
the
on
land
Dell and
guy.
Alice was
Okay,
like,
no.
"Ooh, hey."
Okay, I was confused. I know which guy you're talking about now. I'm with you. No,
Okay, so there's something
that guy is from the past.
He has to be.
No question about it.
I don't know how he got so, or he's from the future. I don't know, but there's a reason he's so wealthy and well-to-do, and
He's not from this time. That's what
No.
I know.
we'll go with that. Not with this. Not from this time. And then what is the other thing?
traveler?
And I think that the OG Landry, I think he's a good guy. At first, I was worried that, oh no, he's gonna be
No,
bad,
I
but no, I
know.
think he's a good guy.
That was cute.
I
And
like-
also, I want to say that was really cute. The little Jacob, the JK
Mm-hmm.
carving under the table. That really like tugged at my little heartstrings.
Oh, the almanac went through the family. I was gonna say he does come back because he writes in the almanac, but the almanac just was passed from generations through the family,
Yeah.
right? Never mind.
Yeah. But that was
Okay.
really cute to see. And it was really cool to see like the fireplace like back in that house. I was just like, wow.
He
All
did
exactly the same. It was really cool.
But she said this was built to stand the test of time. And he said, that's what I thought too. But I have to keep replacing the stone. There was a reason that was pointed out.
That's true.
I don't know what the reason is, but there's a reason that was
Maybe
pointed
there's
out.
something behind the stone that's a clue.
Something.
There's something
Is
hidden
Jacob
in there.
back there?
Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of he hid something back there, but I mean, that one works too, I guess.
They're gonna feel a brick bag, and his head's just gonna pop out, and he's gonna go, "Hello,
hello, Johnny."
I don't think that's how that line was said. There is something to that, though. There's a reason that it said he has to continue to replace it, but they no longer have to replace it. So what was done to it that it did stand the test of time? It was so faulty that stones repeatedly fell off, but it's still in existence.
Well, apparently
200
Elijah
years
can't
later.
build anything, right? Maybe a real man came along and actually built the thing correctly.
Who's the real man? Elliot Augustine? Did he travel back there to fix it?
Jacob built the lighthouse.
I was going to say he did build the lighthouse. That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay. So I think those are all. Do you guys have any other theories? It's because I feel like I'm the only one with a theory this week.
I just have questions. I
have so many questions. Yeah, I agree with Eve. I have so many questions.
Okay, what questions do you guys have going into the next episode? What do you want to see?
What do I want to see? I want answers about Elliot's dad. I want answers about the pond. I want answers about who Casey is.
In one episode?
Yes, I need answers. So go ahead and give me the answers.
Okay.
I need answers about funky truck guy.
Eve, so Eve, what questions do you need answered next week?
I need to know who on earth Sarah Augustine is. Like what is she hiding? I want to know what she's hiding.
Yes.
I want to know what Casey's connection is to which family.
Everyone.
Because my theory, I definitely agree. She has to be part of one of the founding families. But I want to know which founding family she's a part of. I want to know what Evelyn's deal is.
Yes.
Who's Evelyn? Oh,
she was the one who died.
Where have you been?
Sorry.
She just stepped out for a minute. Don't worry.
Old lady binoculars got it. So we were like, okay, who calls Kat Catherine?
Her dad.
She introduced herself to Elijah as Catherine.
Who's Elijah?
Her great-great-grand.
The guy who could not build a fireplace.
She does, yes.
So could that be my Catherine? Like, why would he say my Catherine? Who? I want to know who did the painting.
That was the other thing that was weird. Is they're like, did Jacob do the painting? Why would Jacob call her my Catherine?
My Catherine. But then I was like, Elijah, he's like Catherine. And I'm like, that's kind of like her great grandfather. So that's kind of weird too. So, right? Is that her grandfather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she can't go back in time and do anything with the Grampy, right? No.
No. Oh.
I don't want her to because that is gross.
You had a problem with me saying if he's her 14th cousin once removed with the great grandpa?
That's a little bit closer, okay?
I don't know how time travel works.
It doesn't work like that.
Grandfather. Never with the great grandfather, whether or not time travel is involved. Let me just make that very clear.
That's the rule.
Who did the painting?
What if it?
There's my question of the week. Who did the painting?
Okay, so I know that Elliot was kind of like, you can time travel? Time travel's real? Tell me what happens. I know that that's kind of what he was like, but does anyone ever actually see Vic? Does anyone, because to my understanding, no one really sees Vic. Vic leaves
Dell
notes,
knew him.
How do we know that she saw him, though? She knew who his father was, but we don't say that she ever met him, do we? Because what if Elliot painted it, my Catherine, in the past?
Well, then he wouldn't have,
because he's an Augustine.
He wouldn't have been a teenager. I mean, Kat saw him grow up. Alice saw him grow up from a teenager to a man.
Yeah, maybe he time traveled there and he was like, okay, I don't know. Elliot's the only one I can picture her calling. What if it comes back that Brady is this evil witch and he just been time traveling the whole time? He's going across decades. He's like,
It's all Brady. Everything is all connected to Brady.
What you don't see is Brady shove Jacob in the ponds, like, go back.
Ooh, what if it's Rachel?
Who?
Oh, the girlfriend.
Brady's girlfriend.
Oh. Well, it's a shock that I forgot she existed because we've never seen her face.
I don't think she's real.
She's like
I don't think Vic is real either. Something is weird there. That Elliot is left alone that often.
No, there's something off with Vic. I don't know what it is yet. Either he's not there, he's time traveling all the time. Maybe he doesn't exist. I have no idea. All of them are such big possibilities.
Okay, all this did was create more questions.
I know. We need to stop when we're ahead.
Yes. So we're going to stop now because I thought of at least 18 more questions as you guys brought things up. But I think the bigger issue now is there's an Augustine connection between Elliot and Jacob's fiance. There's a connection there. Has to be, or the name wouldn't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bit, everyone else is probably like, obviously, we got that connection a long time ago. Eve clearly did, but the rest of us at FFC did not get that connection. Eve did not share this knowledge with us. She just assumed we were smart enough to know it.
I
Figured you guys
knew, but from now on, I will assume differently.
Please.
Talk to us like we're 2-year-olds. What did we say?
Only shapes and colors, Eve.
I still think, no, I'm still going around and around with Colton.
You just put me off.
She wants Colton to be in the horse.
Colton is the horse. He's not inside the horse. Colton is the horse.
Potato. Whether it's his body or soul, it's in there.
Colton's just swimming inside the horse, just waiting for him to be let out.
Like a whale. Like Moby Dick.
He's kicking inside the horse to give it direction to go to Dell. Like in Ratatouille when the mouse is pulling his hair. So we're going to stop here before we get too far ahead. And you guys might be confused why our facial expressions have randomly looked like we've been laughing hysterically. There's a lot of cut out because there's a lot that you don't need to see that we've been talking about like insane people.
Oh my gosh.
If you
Just me, guys.
No, also me. Eve is the only rational one in this group.
Only sane one over here.
That is terrifying.
I know. So if you have theories, we want to know what they are. I want to know personally, how many people think Colton is the horse? How many people think Colton is just hanging out inside the horse in one way or another? Let us know. You can you can comment on our YouTube video below, or you can go to Spreaker.com to check out our podcast. It's SPR. Right? Yes. It's Amanda has her hand raised.
No, she's agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Go to Spreaker.com. It's SPREAKER.com to listen to our podcast. Of course, you can listen to it on Apple, on Spotify, and all these other things. You can find them there. But if you go to Spreaker.com, it really helps us out. Or you can comment below on our YouTube page of this and let us know. On that note, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get interviews with the cast and crew from this show, from My Life with the Walter Boys, from One Tree Hill, from all these other shows. We're trying to get cast and crew interviews. What helps is if they see that our channel is listened to and has high numbers, and they will agree to come on our show. So make sure you're subscribing and sharing this with your family and friends. Stay tuned for our premieres that we have coming at you, our mid-season premieres, our Fire Country premiere, and our Sullivan's Crossing. That's all coming out soon. And on that note, we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at Wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.